All right, at this point, you may be struggling with the validation. It's a pretty tricky thing, and especially when I'm not with you to explain it. So I'm going to try and explain a few things here, and then have you see if you can figure it out. You should be able to once I explain a few things about it. So what we're doing is, after we've got our web page, we need to validate it, meaning the computer checks to see if everything's in line. If there's something weird, it recognizes it usually and tells you a little bit about it and says, hey, this is not right, you need to fix it. Okay, it doesn't catch everything, but it's pretty good about catching certain things. And if we don't validate it, we might miss something, and the website might look different than what we had expected. So let me just show you some examples of what I'm talking about. This is just a student's student page, their My Hobby webpage, after it's gone through a few assignments. And so we need to get this into a validator first of all. So we're going to copy everything. So I could click and drag everything, but that takes a little while. And if I have to scroll down, it takes even longer, and I'm not sure if I get everything. So the best way to do it is do a Control A on the keyboard. Control A selects everything, and then I can just do a Control C to copy that. And then I'm going to click the link from the website and go to the validator, and this box right here should be empty on yours after you go there, and then do a Control V to paste. So I've got the whole page there, all the code right there. And then I can click right here, validate, and it tells me if it validates or if it's got issues. So it looks like it has 6 issues. And so let me just go through a few of these. This first one that you're going to see always, this character encoding was not declared. In the instructions of the assignment, I showed you how, I gave you a piece of code to copy and paste. So I'm going to get it right here. It's on my other screen. But there's just a line of code on the first instruction of this assignment. So you just need to get that and throw that in there at the top. So I'm going to go back, and it says to put it in the head tag. So in between the opening and the closing head tag, I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to tab in so it's nested, and it's this meta character set UTF-8. It's just, I don't know, I could say a lot about that. I'm not going to. We don't need to know what that is. If you want to know, you could look it up on W3 Schools and it'll tell you all about it. But it's just some coding. Well, anyway, telling the website that we're using HTML and the keyboard that we have and whatever. So just add that first off, and that will solve the first problem, the first issue. So I'm going to do a Control A after I've fixed it, Control C to copy. I'm going to go back. You could do your Alt Tab, and then click in here, Control A to select all that, and then Control V to paste over it. Because I copied from the new stuff. See, there's the new tag right there. And I pasted over the top. So I'm going to click Validate again, and there's that first one went away. Okay, let's keep going. Missing space before doc type name. So there's some information about this. You might not understand what that means on any of them, the first line, but I like this one right here. It tells me what line it's talking about from the code. And line 5, line 8, it even tells us the column, that's how many characters, but I don't usually look at that unless I absolutely have to. So just knowing what line it's on helps, because then I can go to that line and see if anything is off, okay, anything's different. And look at the first two, line 1 and line 1. So it's possible that if I fix one thing, it will fix multiple errors, flags that it tells me. So I'm going to go to line 1, missing space before doc type name. I'm going to keep that in mind. Line 1, it's the very first thing, doc type HTML. Is there anything funny about that you know? And if you know your essential tags, that's key also. That really helps to diagnose problems, because a lot of them are in the essential tags. So, and it said something about a space before HTML. There's a period instead of a space. It needs to be a space. So if you know your essential tags, you'll know that right there. So let's see what that takes care of. Control A, Control C. I'm going to switch over, click right here, Control A, Control V. You could also choose the file, and then when you save it, you could refresh it here, I think. That's another way of doing it. I usually just copy everything. It's just how I've always done it. Okay, 3 issues. It had 5, went down to 3. So 2 of those issues were because of that one thing. So that happens quite often. That's good. Okay, line 5. Element title must not be empty. I don't know what that means. So I'm going to go to line 5 and just look at the title tag. It kind of shows right here what it's talking about, but I'm not sure. But when I go there, sometimes I can see what it's talking about. Can't be empty. Okay, there's nothing in the title, in between the title tags. So that doesn't show up on the page. It shows up on the tab of the browser, right? So this could be my first web page. Maybe they just forgot to put that. Okay, Control A, Control C, switch over, Alt Tab if you want. Control A, Control V, and validate again. 2 more issues. Okay, we're getting there. Start tag, body seen, but an element of the same type was already open. Don't know what it's talking about maybe. So from line 8, something about this body tag. Okay, seen but element of the same. Okay, from line 8, I'm going to go back and I'm just going to look at line 8, body style. Looks okay, but if I look around a little bit, look right above it. So usually if I go to that line and I still don't know what it's talking about, I look above and below it because something's going on. And look, I've got 2 body tags, which I'm not supposed to have, and that's just something you learn, but only 1 body tag is necessary, and you can only have 1. If you have 2, it flags it. And there are 2 closing tags also. If you click right in the middle of a tag name, it turns purple if there's a closing tag. So that helps you to know if things are closed or not. So there's 2 body tags, and so I'm going to get rid of 1, and I can see why this student put 2, because they didn't know, well, they wanted 2 different styles, a background color and to align all the text on the page to the center. So the way we fix that, and the way we're supposed to do it, is to take a declaration with a property and a value and separate them inside the same style tag with a semicolon. So I'm going to paste that here. So now it's background color yellow and text align center. You get them both, and then you don't need that extra body tag, which you shouldn't have anyway. So I'm going to delete the opening and the closing tags, the start and the end tags, and only have 1 set of body tags, and it's got both declarations in there. So the color is going to be yellow and text is going to be aligned in the center. Let's try that. Control A, Control C, Alt Tab, Control A, Control V. We're going to get good at shortcuts here. And there we go. That got rid of my other 2 or 3, whatever it was. So that's good. Sometimes one fix gets rid of other errors because it flags it because it doesn't know what's happening. Okay, let me just give you another example or 2. Let's go to this one. I'm going to copy it and paste it in. Validate it. All right. If you get a lot of issues, don't get overwhelmed. Okay, this is 21 issues. That's a lot. And you think, oh, it's going to take me all day to get rid of all 21. But as, like we showed before, like I showed, sometimes you get rid of one thing or you fix one thing and it fixes multiple things. And if you look, see this one right here is the character set, the meta tag that you just copy and paste from the assignment. It's going to get rid of that one. You'll always see that if you don't have that meta tag in the head tag. So, but let's look at these other ones. Look, stray tag start tr, or stray start tag td, stray end tag td, stray start tag itd. If we go down, it's like these are all very similar. And look at what lines they come from: 38, 39, 39, 40, 40, 41, 41. So something's going on with one of these elements. And if you know, we just put in the table tag, and there's table rows and there's table data, right? So all of these are dealing with the table tag, or the table, the table in the code. So something's wrong with the table. So let's just start at line 38, but maybe I can go and see where it ends. 38, see it's still going. Right there it's something different. Right there it's something different. This is the table row. 47. So it goes from 38 to 47. So I'm going to go back and look, see what's going on between 38, right there it starts, and it ends at 47. So just all of those are dealing with this right here. And it said something about a stray tag, tr tag. There's 2 tables in here. This is the other table right here. Start tag, end tag. But down here, so this table ends right here. So this either is supposed to be a part of that, or there's just no table tags. right? There's just rows. You can't have table rows without a table. And so that's what it's saying. So I know that kind of from experience, but just got to look around and see there's another table row, but it's inside the table tags. Let's put this one inside the table tags. So let's create a table, and let's start the tag and end the tag. And now it's got the table rows, 2 rows, and we did this recently, so 2 rows and 3 columns in each row. It needs to be inside of a table. And it should be nested since it's now inside the table tag. So I'm going to select all and press tab to indent. And now it's nested properly as well. But let's see what that fixes. I'm going to do a Control A, Control C, Alt, Tab, Control A, Control V, and validate. We had 21 issues a second ago. Boom, down to 5. So we just got rid of a bunch of issues all by just adding those tables, the table tags. So that's good. What else could I show that we need to see? Unclosed. Okay, that one should be pretty obvious. There's a UL tag, unordered list. Unclosed just means there's no closing tag for that. Let me show you what to look for there. Line 56. 56. Right here. Okay, if I click on it, like I said before, if you click on a tag, it should go purple if there's a closing tag. There's no closing tag right there. But what's supposed to be there? Well, it looks like it's part of this UL, unordered list. And it looks like there's an opening tag here and a closing tag, but there's a problem because it's not turning purple. So what do we always have on a closing tag? That slash, the forward slash. So sometimes you just, as simple as forgetting the forward slash on the closing tag. Now it's got an opening and a closing. That might take care of a few more issues because I didn't even see something about the opening tag. Oh, unclosed, unclosed. Yep, it's probably going to take care of both of those. 56, 53. Yeah. So, oh, the opening is after the closing tag. So anyway, you just have to look at what it gives you. Take what it gives you. I think this is the most important thing from line 56. I go to 56 and I just see, I look around a little bit and check all the things that I normally check. Is it got an opening and a closing tag? Should there be something else in there? Like if I didn't have these ULs and there's just list items, those have to be inside of a list tag. And if they're not, it's going to flag it. So look at the clues you have and are given on the validator. They don't always make sense, but if you go to the line and just look around a little bit and see if anything is out of place and then read it and see if you can understand anything about it, then you should be able to figure out those problems. If you can't, if there's some that you just can't figure out, send me an email, take a screenshot of this, and send me your file, your HTML file, and I can go in and look at it and help you diagnose that. So good luck, and make sure by the time, well, once you get rid of all the errors, it will have a green bar instead of all this red, and it will say your page validates, and then it's ready to go and to submit.